Hello. Welcome to this edition of the Cancer Coach Talks. I am the Cancer Coach, Leslie Nance, here to inspire you to think differently about your cancer journey, really helping you to start the gears turning towards healing the trauma of a cancer diagnosis, what it does to you physically, emotionally, and mentally. And I am so excited to be here with you this evening. I think this is my third Tuesday in a row after a little break that I had taken, and I am very, very happy to be here with you guys. So thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here, kind of the rules of the game are basically leave a comment because I can't see that you're here unless you leave a comment. I can see how many people are here, but I can't see you specifically. So make sure you leave me a comment there. You're already going to see some links that I have put up. These are going to be for references for the conversation that we're going to have tonight about alcohol, which makes me one of the most unpopular people on the planet. You talk about a buzzkill. I am about to be the alcohol buzzkill. If you care at all about your health or a cancer journey or healing your body. So again, welcome. It's really good to be here. So let me introduce myself. My name is Leslie Nance. I'm a certified holistic nutritionist. I'm a certified holistic cancer coach. Oh, over here. No, wait, that way. That right there, that is what all of those letters mean. It means that I am a cancer coach. So hi, Christy, it's good to see you. Thanks for being here. Hi, Tommy. But those are what those letters mean. If you're always wondering what CHCC and CHN is, that means a certified holistic cancer coach, certified holistic nutritionist. I'm also an 8-year cancer survivor. And I am most interested in watching and helping people form a relationship with healing their lives. And this discussion tonight is a big, big part of that. And, most of the people that come to work with me have already had to come to Jesus about alcohol and have either they're on the path of changing that relationship, or they already know that they cannot drink alcohol. But I think that it's important that we understand that that's not just Leslie talking about alcohol, putting your body in emergency mode and making things more stressful in the environment of the body, but also that even the medical community who's like, oh, you want a shake? Go eat a shake. You want a hamburger? Go eat a hamburger. It's fine. But when it comes to alcohol, it's one of those things that the medical community agrees with, most of the wellness community, that is dangerous for your health. And today we're going to go through that process. And one of the things that spurred this conversation along is an article that came out in the New York Times. It came out on March 4th. And the title was the same title I'm sharing with you guys tonight, which is, should your cocktail carry a cancer warning? And that's what we're going to use as our basis. Hi, Corey, it's good to see you, as our basis for our conversation tonight. But then we're going to move from what the article said, which I've linked here for you guys, so you can go check it out. We're going to move from what the article says, and I'm going to talk to you about what I know about the dangers of alcohol, and how it really leaves the door open when we think about prevention from a prevention standpoint, because I know many of you here that watch me are working on prevention. You're not necessarily diagnosed with cancer. You've come over from my Go-To Kitchens crowd and you don't have cancer, but you're interested in preventing it. So really what's good for cancer should be good for preventing it. And this is no exception of that at all. So I am going to, we're going to work through this conversation here tonight. So leave your comments, leave questions. I will go back at the end of the session tonight and answer questions in a free Q&A. So please do that. Please leave your questions there as you think of them, and I will go back through and answer them. I may not answer them right at the moment, but I promise I will get to them at the end of this. Okay. So because of the pandemic, because of COVID, there was a surge, and that's the word that the medical community is using. There was a surge in sales in alcohol in the United States. Hey, Marty, it's good to see you. There was a surge of alcohol sales in the United States. And so it's there because of that, it started a dialogue or even a more concerning conversation around our behaviors in America. Now, believe it or not, we are not high on the list for alcohol consumption. European countries actually, and the UK actually kick our butt when it comes to alcohol consumption. So we're not one of the highest countries that Latin America. All of them are ahead of us when it comes to alcohol consumption. However, we are up there with, I think we're either in the top 5 or top 10. I actually didn't look at that statistic. But the American Cancer Society in 2017 published some statistics, not a study, but some statistics in 2017 that stated 42% of all cancers can be prevented by different lifestyle choices. And then they went on to list the percentages of those lifestyle choices. Number 1 in prevention, in other words, changing your lifestyle to work towards prevention. Number 1 on that list was smoking. Okay. Smoking is a large cause. It's not the only cause, but it is a large cause of lung cancer. And lung cancer is the number 1 cancer in the world, actually. Number 2, and that one came in at 19%, by the way. So smoking is really recognized as basically a massive warning against smoking and getting cancer. And so lung cancer specifically, but also throat cancer, thyroid cancer, esophageal cancer, even some stomach cancers. I mean, it is breast cancer. I mean, there is a lot. Usually if you are a smoker, you have other lifestyle choices that are also not in check. And so it really puts you at a disadvantage in your health just from smoking, but also typically in other lifestyle choices. And I'm not stereotyping there. That is just the facts. Okay. This isn't about like, oh, well, I'm a smoker and how can you say that about me? Well, I'm telling you up front, and you know this already, it's a trouble. It's massive trouble. And you need to consider what it's doing to your health. I will not work with people who are not willing to quit. If you're not willing to quit smoking, you can smoke when you come to me, but if you're not willing to quit in that process of working with me, then I can't work with you. And I am crystal clear about that in all my material. I cannot work with you. Everything we would do would be defeating the purpose every time you took a puff on that cigarette. And I have to tell you that alcohol is not too far behind that. Number 2 on the list of those 42% of all cancers that can be prevented is obesity. Obesity puts us at risk for a lot of disease, including cancer. And so, again, we go to those lifestyle choices. We think about what, thinking about lifestyle choices. And a lot of times people that suffer or have or are obese actually are making poor decisions elsewhere in their life, which leads to this. And again, this is not fat shaming. These are facts. All you have to do is Google it, and the facts are going to slap you in the face. So if you're struggling with your weight, it doesn't matter what you look like in your skinny jeans. It's not a vanity thing. It is a health thing. And anybody who tells you that you can be healthy and be obese it's a flat out lie. And there is not a doctor on the planet that would agree with that. And there is not a health professional on the planet that would agree with that. And so obesity may put you at an 8% risk of cancer. Very close behind that at a 6% risk is alcohol. Now, the American Cancer Society also polled a large group of people. And they asked them, I can't remember how many it was, but it was thousands of people that they polled. And they asked them, what do you feel like lifestyle choices are the biggest risk for cancer? And only a third of that population that was polled included alcohol, and they gave them things to choose from. They were little check boxes. And only a third of that massive amount of people felt like alcohol was actually a concern for cancer. But it's so much a concern, and this is what the article was talking about. It's so much of a concern in October. And by the way, the other following lifestyle choices are UV radiation, physical inactivity, and poor diet. And so poor diet is number 6 on the list, under inactivity, UV radiation, alcohol, obesity, and cigarette smoking. Okay, so a lot of you that are putting all your eggs in that diet basket and still drinking alcohol, or still smoking cigarettes, or still not dealing with your weight, are still, spending 2 hours a day in a tanning bed, you are doing yourself a massive disservice. Okay? So this alcohol is so much of a problem that in October of 2020, the American Society for Clinical Oncology, the American Cancer Institute for Cancer Research, the American Public Health Association, and 5 other related groups called upon the federal government to add a warning label for cancer to alcohol. And this is what, and I quote, this is what they said. There is strong scientific consensus that alcohol can cause several types of cancer, including breast and colon cancer. Including breast and colon cancer. They want to put labels on alcohol because of the danger. Again, these are the people that are telling you it's okay to drink a milkshake. If you can't eat anything else, drink a milkshake. If it's okay if you eat fast food, just eat. These are the same people. So I want you to think about the significance of this warning that they want to place, just like they put on cigarettes, knowing that it was a class 1 carcinogenic, and you shouldn't be doing it. Doesn't mean people don't do it, but that you shouldn't be doing it. And if you think, oh, well, that's our government, that's them trying to police me, that's them trying to scare me, then think twice, because it's not just our country. Our European counterparts, UK, the European countries, have some of the highest alcohol consumption in the world, are putting this labeling on their alcohol. They're actually issuing this warning for alcohol on a label. In fact, they have initiated a multi-billion-dollar campaign for it in the effort to discourage heavy drinking because of its links to cancer, and because cancer is the leading cause of death within these countries. Hello, Anne-Marie. Hi, Robbie. Other countries are already doing it. And I actually cannot find the outcome of this request to our federal government. I'm guessing it's probably sitting in litigation right now, or it's being lobbied the heck out of, because the alcohol community and their dollar bills are significant to a lot of politicians. And so therefore, I'm sure there's a lot of lobbying going on there that's happening in our government. We already see an uptick. This was in the article. They are already seeing an uptick in hospitals from alcohol-related disease based on the buying habits through the pandemic. Because alcohol sales have gone up, they're also seeing a correlation with hospital visits with people that have alcohol-related diseases. And yes, it happens that fast. Liver failure, hepatitis, I mean, there are tons of these diseases that can happen quickly from an overconsumption of alcohol. We're going to talk about the liver in a little bit. We're going to talk about the liver and living in just a few minutes. So the statistics state right now that 606,000 people and some change will die of cancer this year in the United States alone. If we calculate that to 6%, that means that 36,000 deaths could have possibly been prevented by one simple lifestyle change of not drinking alcohol or not abusing or over drinking. And abuse is a strong word, but over drinking alcohol. And we're going to talk about what that means as well. If we take just the diagnoses and we just say, well, let's not say people that died from cancer. Let's say the amount of people that are diagnosed with cancer. That's 1.8 million people every year. They get around and some change. They get diagnosed with cancer. That means that roughly 108,000, 106,000 in that range, 100,000 people and some change could prevent a diagnosis by a lifestyle change. If it's responsible for 6% of the cancer cases, that's significant. That's significant. Actually, not exactly true when I do the math. Hold on. 42% of 108 million. Sorry. 42, whatever that number is. 42% of 108 million. And then 6% of that. I'm sorry. I did that math wrong and I apologize. I'm not great at math. It's still a lot of people. It's still a significant amount of people that either could still be alive or could have never had cancer in the first place by a lifestyle change. Therefore, the American Cancer, some of the groups, the bigger groups in oncology and the cancer world are saying we need to make people aware that this is a problem because they don't understand that this is a problem. So why is alcohol so disruptive to the human body? It's important that we understand this as well, correct? It's important that we have a conversation around why this is a problem, why there is such a risk for cancer when it comes to alcohol. Among other things, by the way, it's not just about the cancer. It's about health in general, but we're going to talk specifically about cancer. Number one is that it lowers our metabolism to a crawl. And if you want any of these steps that I'm handing out tonight in more detail with citations, which means that I talk about where I got the information, you can click on the link in this talk that is coming from gotokitchens.com. 5 things to think about before your next glass of wine. So I've actually already linked that article here in the comments, so you can go check that out. But it lowers, so the first thing is it lowers your metabolism to a crawl. I was just talking about prevention and fighting cancer with my clients this morning and how to do that effectively through our cellular energy. And one of the things I was talking about was that we need to make sure that we are creating a higher metabolic rate so that we are creating more energy inside actually boosting appetite, and they create more energy inside of the body for healing, because cancer is a energy zapper. It consumes energy in a massive amount and can leave us feeling fatigue. And then you add cancer treatments on top of that, and then you really kind of get into a dark place physically when all that starts stacking up. So we were talking about how to prevent that in our training this morning, and my client training this morning. And so one of the many jobs of your liver, and specifically as well, is to metabolize fat and to remove toxins. Now, your liver does a lot of functions. I don't want you to think that's all it does. It does a lot of different things, but 2 of the main jobs that it has is to help you metabolize fat and to help remove toxins through the body. If you're drinking alcohol every single day, and everything I'm going to talk about tonight is, drinking daily. If you're drinking alcohol on a daily basis, you are essentially stopping this function for up to 3 hours. You're slowing your metabolism to a crawl while the body is processing the alcohol. That is one of the reasons that alcohol makes us pudgy in the middle. That's where the beer belly comes from. That's where the muffin tops and people that overconsume are drinking daily. They have a hard time. They slow, and that's just one drink, by the way. That's one drink. So if you have 2 drinks, you're counting on 6 hours of slowing the metabolism to a crawl. It makes it harder to absorb nutrients. It makes it harder to convert food into energy. It can disrupt the digestive system, which slows the metabolic rate. It can mess with the nutrient absorption, which I'm going to talk about. It's one of my points tonight. But we're essentially grinding that to a halt for up to 3 hours by consuming every single day. So imagine doing that. Thank you, Diane. Imagine doing that every single day. A glass of wine, 2 glasses of wine every single day. And what you are putting your liver through. And what you're putting your body through because your liver can't function the way that it's designed to. And speaking of the liver, and this is my second point, it's amazing. Your liver is freaking incredible. It can actually regenerate itself and heal itself. It's a fascinating organ. I could make a study in my mind just about the liver. It's such a cool organ. It's an amazing, amazing tool that we have in our body. So speaking of that, when you drink alcohol every single day, you are putting your liver in, or actually, anytime you drink alcohol, you're putting your body into emergency mode. You're putting your liver into emergency mode, essentially. And the reason for that is that your body sees alcohol as a toxin. Like it or lump it. I don't care about your red wine. I don't care about how awesome that tequila is. And because it's made from a certain plant that has tons of antioxidant in it. There are lots of plants that have antioxidants in it. You don't need alcohol to get these antioxidants. There is nothing specific to alcohol that you can't get in another food. Your body sees the alcohol as an invader, as a toxin, and it goes to work on it immediately. And when it's focused on that toxin that you've admitted to it, it's not focusing on healing over here. So if you're drinking 2 glasses of red wine every single night, thinking that you're doing your body good, it's good for my heart. That's a story you're telling yourself. And this article speaks to that, actually. You can go read the New York Times article, that this is a marketing ploy, that the alcohol community has paid for people to say that. Alcohol is a toxin. Your body recognizes it as a toxin. And as soon as you consume it, it goes to work on that toxin. And specifically in the liver, if you drink 2 glasses of red wine, that's on average, that's about 8 units of alcohol. That's about 8 hours of hard labor on your liver getting rid of that toxin. Therefore, this is where the label comes from. Imagine if you're doing that every single night, what you're doing to your liver and how you're making your body vulnerable to all kinds of toxins, all kinds of health issues, not just the toxin from the alcohol. So whatever you think you're doing for your heart by drinking red wine, you can do by eating an apple with red peel, or eat grapes, or whatever. Just eat real food. You're not doing yourself any favors. And I guarantee you, I know this doesn't make me popular. Some of you have already skedaddled and unfollowed my page. I don't care. This is the truth. This is the scientific hard truth about alcohol. Doesn't make me popular, and I don't care. But if it just reaches one person, it makes a difference in one person's life, then it's worth it. Number 3 is that it increases your cancer risk by 6%. That should be enough right there. That should be enough right there. Any risk, any percentage risk over like a minuscule percentage should be a concern. 6% is significant, especially if you have other precursors, especially if you have other lifestyle habits that are leaving the door open, especially if you're at a predisposition for cancer because of genetics, which is very, very tiny percentage of people. Especially if you've been exposed to environmental toxins your entire life, which you don't even know about. I was diagnosed with cancer in 2012. And one of the things that I noticed going from, and if you've never been diagnosed with cancer, then you don't understand maybe that you get upgraded to all kinds of new doctors. You have doctors coming out of your wazoo. You can't even remember them all because there's so many of them. And so every single time I got bounced to a new doctor because I had a very complicated case, I had a very dangerous case. They really didn't know how to treat it. So I saw a lot of doctors. I even talked to the pathologist, which is like, you never get to talk to the pathologist. And so every single time I would meet with a doctor, they would ask me a series of questions. How old were you when you got your first period? Just different health questions. Basically, do you smoke? Right? How much do you exercise? And the fourth question was always, how much alcohol do you consume? Now, they didn't ask me about how many Chick-fil-A sandwiches I was eating. They didn't ask me about how many burgers I was eating. They didn't ask me about how much lunch meat or diet soda or any of that. They asked me about alcohol and cigarettes and my exercise. And of course, for breast cancer, what the age of your first period is actually an important question. And I began to think, what do they know that I don't know? So I started doing some research and I came across these discoveries and I was shocked. I was shocked that nobody was talking about it. I was shocked that I was still walking down my street and the trash cans are filled with beer bottles and wine bottles just 1 week. And I was like, why isn't anybody shouting from the freaking rooftops that this really puts us at risk for cancer, especially women, especially breast cancer, especially men, especially prostate cancer, but all kinds of cancers, colorectal, stomach, esophagus, thyroid, all kinds of cancers, lung cancer. And so when they asked me about that, when they asked me about the consumption of a thing, automatically it sent off sirens that this has got to be kind of important. They're talking about it. This must be pretty important. The Komen Foundation found that women who drank 2 glasses of alcohol, including red wine, 2 glasses of alcohol a day, and by the way, their glasses of alcohol are 4 ounces or less. I know your red wine glass is bigger than that. I know when I drink red wine, it's bigger than 4 ounces. That's like Italian style is 4 ounces. 2 glasses of 4 ounces or more of alcohol a day had a 20% higher risk of breast cancer. A 20%. That's not me saying that. That's the Komen Foundation. The breast cancer people. Just 2 daily. 4 ounces. So 8 ounces total daily increase their risk by 20%. It increases your risk for cancer. Bottom line. Number 4, it's a mood killer. How many of you got to an end? I get to an end of a day sometime and I've had a tough day and I make the joke. I've actually stopped doing this, but I'll make the joke with my husband, Robin. And I'm like, I need a drink. And he's like, honey, you really don't drink. I'm like, I know. It's a joke. But it's the thing that people say. I had a really tough day. I need a drink. I deserve it. I deserve to put my body at risk for cancer. I deserve to put my liver on hold for 8 hours. That's what I deserve. No, you don't. No, you do not. It's a mood killer. If you're using alcohol as an antidepressant or better sleep, you are fooling yourself. You are not getting either. You are not getting either. You're not getting good sleep and you're not increasing your mood. You know why? Because alcohol is a depressant. It is scientifically proven that it is a depressant in the human body. It kills your mood. It creates a cycle. And again, if you go read my article about it, you'll see more about this. It creates a cycle. The Royal College of Psychiatrists warns alcohol affects the chemistry of the brain, increasing risk of depression. Not helping, increasing risk of depression. And if you think that it's good for the bedroom, you'd be wrong there too. An abuse or a overconsumption of alcohol actually leads to sexual dysfunction in men and women and leaves you at a risk for leaves you at a risk for infertility. And if you're dealing with depression and you're drunk, do you really think it's going to be ba chicka bow wow? No, it's going to be boom, boom, boom. I laugh. It's not funny, except my sound effects. Number 5 is you don't absorb nutrients well when you consume alcohol. Alcohol inhibits your body's ability to specific nutrients like B vitamins, which are crucial in the human body. And B vitamins take the biggest hit when it comes to alcohol, specifically B12 takes the biggest hit when it comes to consumption of alcohol on a daily basis. It irritates the small intestines, which causes interference with absorbing nutrients properly. It's a diuretic, so water-soluble vitamins and minerals can be affected by moving liquid out of the body too quickly. And if you're trying to heal your gut and still drinking alcohol, forget it. And again, this is all, we're talking about a daily consumption of alcohol. I'm not talking about a glass of wine with your girlfriend on the weekend. I'm not talking about a glass of champagne to celebrate at your cousin's wedding or with your children. I'm talking about a daily consumption of alcohol. But if you're trying to heal something and you're drinking alcohol every single day, forget it. Just forget it, because you are not making any inroads on your healing. You are keeping your body at a disadvantage all the time. You are constantly at a disadvantage, mentally, emotionally, physically. You're at a disadvantage. So the bottom line is, if you're spending loads of time trying to eat healthy and you're consuming alcohol on a daily basis, you are missing a crucial key to healing. Now, this is doubly true if you have active cancer. Let me say this. You don't need to be a teetotaler. You don't need to not drink alcohol ever. I have an occasional glass of wine. I have an occasional beer. I love champagne, but never to the point of intoxication and never to the point of, on purpose anyway. Sometimes it's snuck up on me before. I've had that happen a couple of times in recent years. And never to a point of where it becomes a daily habit. That's for sure. Occasionally, a few times a year. You don't have to be that like, no, I don't drink person. I don't drink. What's wrong with you? You don't have to be that. You just need to be mindful about what you're doing to your body when you consume alcohol. Now then, the only thing about that is unless you have active cancer. If you have active cancer, you need to abstain from alcohol. It needs to be taken out of your routine. It is harming you. It's putting you at greater risk. It's creating depression, more anxiety, and who needs that? We have just so normalized it in our society. It's just become normalized. And think about, what am I trying to think about here? Think about, what year would that be? Think about when I was a kid in the 1970s, half of my family smoked. We would go to my grandmother's house and my grandfather rolled his own cigarettes and he would roll them for the whole family. Everybody smoked. It was just normal. And then the warnings came out. Hey, by the way, if you smoke, it puts you at risk for heart disease and all this huge host of cancer, and all kinds of cancer, not just lung cancer. And it makes you, it can make you infertile and it messes with your sex life and blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden it wasn't normal anymore. And then all of a sudden we get bans on places for smoke. You can't smoke. The city we moved from, Fort Collins, was a completely no smoking zone. They had areas of the city, if you wanted to smoke outside, it's serious. And so it became not the norm anymore. We knew better, we did better. Alcohol, we know better, we do better. Does that make sense? So the next time, I can't leave you without leaving you some tips for replacing this. Like, I need a drink. I've had a rough day, I need a drink. The next time you need to unwind from a tough day, I want you to consider these things. Taking a long walk, taking your dog, going with somebody, going by yourself, putting your favorite music in your ears, taking a walk. Get outside, get some fresh air if you've had a rough day. Changes everything. So much more effective than alcohol. Natural high. Number 2, grab a good book. Maybe you want to learn something. Maybe you just want to read a novel. Maybe you want to figure out how to stop drinking alcohol every day, and you need a book to help you do that. How about replacing that habit? Natural high. Play with your kids. Natural endorphins raising up inside of you, giving you some excitement, giving you a challenge, giving you something to look forward to. Kids, grandkids, whatever. Kiss your spouse. Kiss a friend on the cheek. Call a friend. Call your mom. You can. Call your dad. Call a friend you haven't talked to in a long time when you're tempted. Make a delicious meal. Learn how to cook something new. Work on your chef skills. Work on your knife skills. Distract yourself. If you're having a rough day, distract yourself with something that you enjoy. That's not alcohol. Because I can tell you, as good as it feels going down and the numbing effect it causes in the brain is temporary and it's not satisfying anything. But looking through your photos the next day, of you playing with your kids or your grandkids and laughing about what your grandson or your son said, that is stimulating. Thinking about the mother bird that you saw on your walk up in a tree with her babies, because it's spring here, so we have a lot of that going on. Watching the ducks fly over, this is what happened to me. Watching this beautiful family of ducks fly over. Walking by the golf course and seeing people smiling and happy in that beautiful golf course. Those are things I get to take with me. Instead of numbing myself, I open myself up for opportunity, for enjoyment. So I've added a link here to the original article, the New York Times original article. I've also added a link to my go-to kitchens. Please don't think because it's from the New York Times. Please don't read whatever you read into that kind of thing from media. This is a cancer, whatever. So just there. Anyway, I said it. And then I've linked my own personal blog post, which talks more about these 5 points that I made tonight about what it does in the body. Now then, if you have more questions or you want more information, there is 1/3 link in there. I highly, and you're like, I dig this chick. Like she sets you on your ear, makes you think. And if you don't dig me, you're probably not going to watch it anyway. But there's a link there for you to go watch 5 Steps to Becoming a Cancer Boss. I highly recommend that you take 45 minutes out of your life if you've never seen it and check it out.